Hi everyone, hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into BTT. Okay, once again, thank you for your continued support across the channel and everything you do to contribute towards the growth of the channel. Sharing is caring, and all the nice comments that we receive across this channel is brilliant. Really warmly receive. Thank you. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you have a really good week as well. So let's dive into Bittorrent then. So at the moment you can see we're anticipating this higher low, okay, and we have bounced off something there, and we will look at that in a moment. But at the moment it looks good, okay. I know it looks quite relatively bearish. You've got a bit of a bearish EMA retest there. You see that we were looking to form the bullish cross on the MACD there on the lines, and it got the repel, which is contributing towards this push down. But what you're actually doing, you're falling down and you're just bouncing off this 55 EMA, okay. It's acting as a really good level of support right now. And you know what, looking at that, potentially you might be forming a bit of a bull flag. It's a bit skew with, but when you form these bull flags, they sort of trade diagonally, okay. It looks bad, like it's falling back, but you've just come up into it, okay. So you actually have a breakout target from that, okay. And if this was to get a nice little breakout now, okay, a level of support, you see it pump, you could see it pump out of the top of this resistance line of the bull flag, and you could see it pump back up to where it formed the top of the previous resistance there, which is that sort of level there. So we will drop that in for you, okay. Do keep an eye on that potential break, because that would be nice to see, get a level of support in there for BTT. Because at the moment, I'm not going to lie to you, it is looking a little bit like it's in a bit being forced down. So that would be a very positive outlook that we could get this breakout here and pump up and get a level of support for BTT. Because failing that, what's going to happen is you're going to fall out of this EMA and potentially start coming down to retest this low here. And like I said to you, you can't lose that low, because that invalidates this recovery, okay. That invalidates this next impulsive wave, because you start making lower lows, okay. Effectively what you need to do here is start adhering to this uptrend that you found yourself in, where you've broken down, you've come back, you've tested a base, okay, which is this bottom here. You started to recover. Obviously you're going to fall back onto levels of support, just test confirmation, and then obviously adhere to this ascending sort of trend line and bounce up. So do keep an eye on that. If you start to fall out of that and lose this low here, then you're potentially looking at a larger correction, okay. And that sort of larger correction, you just target the previous swing highs. So effectively you fell down to that previous swing high, okay. So what you could do, if you do start to fall, do anticipate this previous swing low there as a level of support, just there. I would expect to see a bounce just there. And what I'm going to do, always zoom out, okay, zoom out on a daily time frame, just to get a bigger picture of what's going on. Right, so on the daily time frame, you can look where the yellow line is on a daily time frame. It's miles away at the moment, miles away. So I would anticipate sort of level, more consolidation. You might get a little kick up there. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean you're off to the races, because you are a little bit extended from the EMA. You could probably do with a retest and a little kiss of that EMA, to be fair, just to confirm you are still in an uptrend, which you are in an uptrend, but you always do want to see that sort of kiss. And unfortunately you've got a bearish cross on the MACD there. You see on the lines on the daily time frame, you're just starting to form that on the MACD. So that's a very bearish signal in itself, okay. You're just starting to form that. So you do need to see that bounce off the 55 on the 4 hour to invalidate that and get that repel, okay, get that rejection of that bullish bearish cross. Because if you do get that bearish cross on there, that's going to push you down through this bottom, okay, where you potentially lose that and start to fall on this 20 EMA on the daily time frame. And then you are looking at that larger correction on the grand scheme of things, because that from here, from this point down to that daily would be roughly 15 to 16% by the time it actually got down there, a larger correction on grand scheme of things. But at the moment you are holding this support, okay. You are forming high lows on the daily as well. Look, you see that it's forming high lows. The candles are closing above this trend line, so it's all good at the moment. You're looking good, okay. I don't want to scare you, but like I said to you in numerous videos, you know, when you start falling through the EMAs on the daily time frame and you start forming bearish crosses on the EMAs there, that's when you do start to think, you know, take a check and think, okay, should I get out here? And that's basically it. That's BTT. So I'll give you a couple of targets in there right now. So zoom in on the 4 hourly, so you can see what you've got here. You've got this level of support, okay, this ascending sort of trend line that it's adhering to, and it's formed this high low, which we was anticipating. We did say hopefully we can form this high low, because that just confirms that this is the corrective wave, and you're now forming this new impulsive wave where you march on to take out that previous high all the way up there and get to our future price prediction, which is also up there. Do you see that? Which is at 0.174068. Because from here right now, from there here, that price prediction is a whopping 109%. Now, when you retrade, when you fall back like this, okay, you hit a level of support and you start to move on, you don't get to the price targets overnight. Please do have patience. You don't get to those price targets overnight. It takes a while to build up momentum again and confidence in the market, you know, for the buying pressure to start coming back and retesting these levels of support before you do start getting that march on and taking out them highs. So what you do need to be aware of here, again, full transparency with you at all times, is you do need to see this bounce off this 55 now, adhering to this ascending trend line, okay, which is a bit skew with here because we've just moved it on the daily, so it looks roughly something like that. So don't start falling out of this 55, okay. You start falling out of the 55 and the 4 hour, you are going to start rolling over and potentially losing this low, okay, which is at 0.0074591. You lose that low, then you are looking at a larger correction down to that level there, which is the daily 20 EMA yellow line there on the daily time frame. So that's basically BTT. So if it was to start of push out of this potential bull flag sort of scenario we've got going on here right now, then you could be looking at a nice little trade there, okay, of roughly 6 or 7% up to that level. But I would expect it to sort of hit a level of resistance right there. So that's BTT. I will keep you updated every day. Got a couple of trades in there. If obviously you break out, you could look to go long, okay. From that point there is a nice little 7% trade. If you do lose that EMA, then potentially looking at a greater downturn there, and I would expect you're going to start coming down and to test this lower low there, and that's a 9% short, okay. So do stay strong, stay safe, but I would expect if it did lose that and start to come down, you would get a nice bounce off there at least and push you back up to retest, because that's what happens. Falls on support, hits resistance, loses that as resistance, okay. It can't get through it, so it falls back on support and then loses its support, and then you got confirmation to the bias, because that potentially could be a further correction of around 22% from here down to the daily 20 EMA on the daily time frame there. So do keep an eye on those targets a bit, Bittorrent. I wish everyone well, and good luck, and stay tuned to the channel. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye bye.